Welcome to another episode of the Find Your Voice podcast. My name is Freya Casey. I'm a professional singer and vocal coach, and I'm passionate about going on a journey to fulfill all of my dreams. We only have one life. Well, at least this life, this experience that we are aware of, we live every day once. And every day that goes by that we have already lived, we are never getting to relive it. I talked about it in my last episode if you want to check that out. Can we relive the past or recreate the past? The truth is we cannot. So it's very precious every day and every hour that goes by. I'm trying to savor every moment, which does not mean every moment is always amazing and positive. And well, even the word positive or negative is almost like I'm giving it a value. I don't even want to give it a value. It's something that I desire or I don't desire. So sometimes, yes, there are moments when I feel it's hard. Sometimes there are moments when it's not like I want it to be. But this is all part of life. And I actually very much appreciate feeling the entire palette of feelings that are available to me as a human being. I actually appreciate it. I don't think it's anything terrible or negative when I feel down. The word down is always, it has a negative connotation, but for me, it's always part of the entire experience. So let's talk a little bit about manifesting and how long does it take. Here's my experience. There is always a delay. I feel like when it's something really big that you put out there, that you put on your radar, your RAS, your reticular activating system, something that you're going to be aware of, that your brain filters out from all the other information that you're bombarded with every single day. You put it in your RAS, it's on your radar, and you see opportunities pop up. And that's when you can get a hold of those opportunities and take advantage of them. Or those things that are going to detract you or distract you from doing or getting where you want to get to manifest all your dreams and your wishes, you're not going to go through those doors. So it's a good thing when you have things on your radar. That's why vision boards are very valuable, because you put on your radar what it is that you want. So I actually have a very specific house that I created in my meditations for years. I know exactly what it looks like. So that's actually the ultimate dream. If I never get to see it in real life, I'm okay with it. It's not anything that I'm going to be crying about if I don't get it, but I know I'm putting it out there and I know it exists, at least in my imagination, which I already quite enjoy just living that, just experiencing that imagination. When I close my eyes, when I meditate, when I just imagine it, it's quite enjoyable. So that alone is a great experience. But my experience is that when I imagine something big and I really picture it, and I'm pretty good at visualizing and imagining it, and not just imagining what it looks like, but what does it feel like for me. It's very important when you visualize, when you want to manifest something, that you always have emotions attached to it, because actually, the thing is never what's important to you. It's what it makes you feel like. That's really all we live for. It's like that feeling that we get when something happens. I wanted to write a book. And why did I want to write a book? Yes, I want to make an impact. But why? Because of what I feel when I make that impact. It's my desire. I think I care the most about it. As long as it's not reality. I know when I put the book out there and people read it and they get value from it, then they appreciate it and they get a lot out of it. But in the beginning, when it's just the dream and the idea, it's my feeling. It's what I want to feel. It's what I want to get out of it. And even having another child or moving into a house, it's not just the thing. The thing is just the vehicle that brings us to the feeling that we desire. Everything is really all about the way it makes us feel. So my experience is, it's really funny because there's always this lag in when things come to pass, when things are manifested, when they become real. There are many things in my life, and everyone has this, where I imagine things and I wished for things. Having a college degree and singing on stage, singing in an opera, singing with an orchestra. I know when I was a child, I would dance around my room singing like an opera diva, And I imagined how amazing it must be to sing with an actual orchestra. And I remember I had put that out for years, that imagination, and I lived through that kind of just in my mind. And then the first time I actually had the first rehearsal for an opera with an actual real orchestra, it was the most amazing thing. It was like one crucial experience in my life where I felt like, wow, it's actually coming true. Back then, I didn't know about putting it out there and just praying for it and wishing for it and wanting to manifest. I didn't know about all these things, but now in hindsight, I understand that it's something I put out there and it eventually came to pass. Now, in the past few years, there are a lot of things I wished for, and things have gotten big too. I mean, singing an entire opera with an orchestra on stage with costumes and a production to get paid for it, that's a big thing. But there are a lot of other big things. I think having children, that's a big thing, especially for women. I think a lot of times it's like that. I think you dream of it when you are a girl. And I think what's important is not just a dream of, oh, it's something I want and just the vision of it, but the feeling that you get from it, that nurturing and holding and smiling and that warmth you feel in your heart when you're holding a baby, and that love that enwraps you completely. And that is something I definitely experienced with all of my children. But it's very interesting how there's sometimes a lag. And because there is a lag, it's not like you put it out there and the next day everything comes to pass. You know, whenever you pray to God or you put it out there, it's not like instantly it all happens. We always know that eventually it will, and some things might happen in our lifetime and some things we might not live to see. That's my thing right now. I turned 50 this year and I'm like, I know I could manifest all of it, but maybe my life isn't going to be quite long enough to see it all happen. Maybe it's going to be like in another lifetime, whatever. But there is this lag, and sometimes things take a long time. Sometimes things are quick. I don't think we can really control when exactly it's going to happen. I think what is important is that we hold on to the dream and that we don't forget it. So the example that I talked about last week, it's just so interesting. So I always kind of took turns between wishing for going back to Texas, living in the US. So I came back to Germany. I lived in Texas for 7 years, then came back to Germany in 2005. And ever since 2005, there were always some times where that desire welled up inside of me. It just came up and then it was okay again for a while. Now during COVID, it just really came to life because I felt like, you know, we were all inside cooped up, and that's when you kind of like want to be free again. So that wish was very real back then. And then it kind of died down. It didn't die down, but it was kind of like maybe other things were in the forefront. It kind of was more on the back burner. It never stopped. That I actually put it out there, that it's something, that feeling I would get of being back there, because I love it. I loved my time in Texas, and there are a lot of things I miss about it, and it's just very different just visiting or actually living there. And I've always had that seed of putting out there, I would like to live there again. So during COVID, it was really big, and I actually checked into, okay, what visa could I get? Because, you know, when I was there the first time, I was married to an American. I had a green card, which I cannot get right now. I can't be under that kind of visa because I'm not married to an American. So I have to think about like, what are the ways I could get there? And in this case, it's an E2 investor visa taking my business to the United States. And then I also had this wish of being in Germany and having a wonderful house. There was a period of time, I told you that I went to the model home park a couple times and looking into finding a piece of land in Germany and building a new house, but no piece of land was ever available in my town. It's very rare that it becomes available. And then also there were not really houses that were like desirable to me. They were all like in the middle of it all, and I wanted to be kind of on the outside, like at the edges of town. So I'm close to nature. I don't want to be like, you know, just kind of crammed in between neighbors that like very small lots. It's just not what I want. And then just recently, it all these opportunities opened up at the same time. So pursuing my visa, it's all open. And I actually today picked up the 3 passports for my 3 children. So starting now, we are technically ready to travel wherever we want to go. Of course, I don't have a long-term visa for the US. At this point, I could stay there for up to 6 months, no longer. I only have a visitor visa. So, but we're working on that. But at the same time, suddenly my neighbor puts up they put up their house for sale, which is an amazing house. And another house opens up. It's up for sale suddenly, and it's at the edges. It has a really big lot and really nice space. And another piece of land became available for sale to build a house on. So all the things at the same time. So my philosophy is always pursue it all. Look into it. Don't just cut it off automatically, but just look into it. Maybe it's a sign. This is the opportunity. This is your dream being fulfilled. So I don't want to just let it go. So I pursued maybe buying the house. I toured it and I pursued looking into all the other things. Here's the thing. The doors didn't open. The hurdle that happened was that I didn't have all my tax papers, which it's not a tax return technically when you are self-employed, because you don't really get a return. You get a statement and a lot of times you have to pay more taxes, or it's okay. It's either okay or you're going to have to pay a little bit more or a lot more, which I had to do this year. A lot. But luckily I had all the money. So all of it at the same time, but the doors actually closed. And here's the thing. My kids' father, all of my kids' father. So their dad, we haven't lived together ever. And he has never paid anything for the kids. No child support, which he doesn't make money. It's an entirely different story. I'm not going to get into that. But I felt like maybe this is a chance for him to do something, because he has, I don't want to make this too long. His dad passed away within the last 12 months. They didn't really have contact, but he left a very expensive vehicle. It's a Porsche 911 from 1976. First owner. He bought it in 1976 and he had held on to it. And he said before he passed away, this is for the kids, the 3 kids, our 3 kids. So, we haven't sold it yet. It's there. And it belongs to the kids. Of course, what are they going to do with a Porsche, right? So for me, it was this opportunity for their dad because he has it. It's in his garage. It's in his possession. Let's say that. It's in his possession right now. So to buy the piece of land or the house, we would have needed some extra funds, like at least to cover all the closing costs. Now that Porsche is worth about $100,000. He also has another vehicle that's worth about $80,000. He also has another classic car that's worth about $50,000. So I said to him, you know what? Yes, we want to go to Texas, but it's almost like there's these opportunities now. And maybe there's an opportunity for us to buy this house or to build a house. But for us to do this, we would need these extra funds. So at least like 50 to 60,000. 100,000 would of course be even more amazing. I mean, the more money put down, the more money you could put down, the better the conditions, the better the interest rate and all the things. So basically I said, the market is really bad right now. And I said, well, I understand that, but we could at least try it. Maybe someone's going to buy it. If someone really wants it, maybe it doesn't matter about the market, because it's so rare that if someone's looking for it, they're going to buy it no matter what the market is going to do. What do I know about the classic car market? But, generally speaking, I feel like you could at least try it. But he said, no, the market is really bad. You don't even have to try it. Also, he does not permit me. He does not pay any child support or anything or any support or support me in to where he comes, watches the children to where I can work more without paying a babysitter. So basically, he doesn't really help at all. I put it out there for him. It's like, we could maybe buy this house and stay here. Then we would not go to Texas, because it's my sign from God, the universe, that this is something we could do right now. And then it's the sign, like, it's your opportunity. And basically he's like, well, you understand that I'm not going to get much for retirement. So I'm going to need all these vehicles to finance my life when I'm retired, which is in a few years. So basically he signaled that, nope, not going to sell any car. There are not going to be any funds coming from me, which closed the door pretty much. Additionally, my tax things, we're behind, which means the bank, in order to decide what kind of a loan I could get for a house or building a house, they need all my tax like up to date, the statements, so they see how much money I made and all that. Now we're totally behind. My CPA, the moment my tax consultant went on vacation a couple weeks out of office. So that door closed, and I had to tell the agent, if someone put in the offer, go ahead, because I can't put in an offer because I don't have all the tax stuff ready for the bank. They can't decide how much loan I can get. So that door is closing, which means we're back on track, just going back to Texas. Why am I telling you all that? I'm just telling you because the thing about manifesting, I put all of it out there. I could have been okay. It's not like there's one solution and that's all there is in life. And if that doesn't happen, I'm unhappy. There is the option of staying in Germany and even staying at our house, which I would be happy with. There's the option of staying in Germany and buying another house, which I would be happy with. There's the option of staying in Germany and building a house, which I would be happy with. There's now the option also of going back to Texas and starting there, which I'm happy with. And that's where it's leading me right now. This is the door that I'm pursuing now. The other one's shut unless something else is going to happen. The door is closed, but everything is something that I put out there. I'm not going to manifest something that I'm not putting out there. So just pursue and continue the vision, continue the visualization, continue putting it out there, look at it, like get into that emotion that you get, what it would feel like when it comes true. And then don't be attached to it. It sounds like it's very contradictory, but it's not. Because even like I want to decide to do something and I really, 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 really want it. But at the same time, it's not like I'm so attached to it that if it doesn't happen, my heart is completely broken and my life can't go on and I'm just completely boohooing because, oh my God, that didn't happen. No, a lot of things can happen. Life is dynamic, and that's the wonderful thing. You have to just kind of be open. You just have to have things on your radar and keep your mind open. Keep your heart open. Stay flexible. And that's how you find fulfillment. And I feel like that's how you find manifestation. That's how you manifest. Because so far, everything has come true. I'm going to talk about other things, like about baby number 4 at another time, because this is getting too long. But my personal experiences that manifesting, it's always at a delay. And sometimes everything that you put out there, those frequencies, those vibrations, the manifestation of it and the opportunities might all come at the same time. Although there are different things that you asked for and that you wished for, but all the opportunities are going to present themselves. And then it's really only up to you to ask yourself, what do I really want? It's not a matter of right or wrong. I don't believe there's like, this is the only right decision and everything else is just wrong. How do I make the right decision? It's a lot of pressure. I don't feel that pressure at all, because I feel like this is not wrong. It's not like, this is the only right thing to do and that's always, everything else is going to be wrong. I don't feel that. There's no pressure. It would be okay to be in Germany. It would be okay to be in Texas. It would be okay to have no business. It would be okay to have a business. It would be okay to have no kids. It would be okay to have a lot of kids. It would be okay to be single for the rest of my life. It would be okay to have a life partner. What do I really want? I wouldn't be unhappy if whatever comes true. But yeah, the happy scenario, the most desirable scenario would be I move to Texas, have an amazing home, my business grows, and I find a life partner who maybe brings in a couple more kids. That's how everything could come true. So there are so many different scenarios that you may not even have on your radar how it all could come true. That's why stay open and be flexible. So maybe I don't need to have my own baby. Maybe there's like another way I'm going to have another child in my life. I just don't know it all. That's why we put it out there. We don't know everything, but God does, or the universe does. Okay. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next one.